I didn't want to go on too much of a rant about Dante Spinotti, but
You do need to do your rant.
okay. But I mean, it is kind of interesting looking at those two movies. I mean, because like Manhunter really is kind of a quintessential mid 1980s movie cinematographically. I mean, like there's a scene where Will Graham is having a conversation with Crawford and a couple of other people, and for some reason, the window next to him is just lit green. It's just green for some reason. I've actually shot movies that are parodies of 80s movies where, I would just set up a green light because it's a joke about 80s movies.
Yep.
Where it's just randomly green or randomly magenta. Like, oh yeah, there's a bush here, and for some reason it's magenta. You know,
By the way, that's
It's like all
coming
those
back.
scenes in
I
the Dune miniseries.
yeah, the
I-
Dune miniseries. Yeah, but I think that's coming back. I've seen that more and more in a lot of young cinematographers stuff, like because they love those astro tubes, whatever, and like all those like tubes that can change colors. So like they're getting all over the place now, not just club scenes and music videos. They'll do it on just normal scenes now.
I mean, in La La Land, there was a whole scene where the window was lit like a vibrant green, and everything. But
Which scene was that?
It was the one where Ryan Gosling cooked dinner for
Yeah.
and they have the whole conversation that kind of turns into a blowout about how
I do recall that look. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that Dante Spinotti in Red Dragon had kind of a lot of the same luxuries that Brett Ratner had as a director, in that, Brett Ratner could kind of steal from Jonathan Demme, and Dante Spinotti could kind of steal from Tak Fujimoto.
Totally.
I mean, I do think that Silence of the Lambs was a bit more innovative in how it handled everything. But and by the way, I'm not trying to diss Dante Spinotti here. I mean, his work on Heat and Last of the Mohicans and so on and so forth. Like, the guy's great.
Who do you prefer?
What, between Spinotti and Tak Fujimoto?
Yeah.
Well, Tak Fujimoto also shot The Sixth Sense.
It's a good-looking movie.
I think I'm gonna go with Spinotti, but I mean, still, like, Tak Fujimoto. It's actually kind of funny thinking about Tak Fujimoto versus two of Tak Fujimoto's most well-known titles are The Silence of the Lambs and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And, similarly, two of Janusz Kaminski's most well-known titles are Schindler's List and The Little Giants. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to figure all that out. But the thing with Dante Spinotti, though, is that just like Robert Zemeckis and Michael Mann forgot how to make movies the moment that they got their hands on a digital camera, Dante Spinotti forgot how to make movies the moment that he got his hands on a digital camera.
Oh, that's sad.
I mean, Public Enemies was the first collaboration between Michael Mann and Dante Spinotti in 10 years. And they shot that digitally. And I remember reading the American Cinematographer article on that, and Dante Spinotti saying, okay, well, we have the scene, and it's supposed to be this nighttime car chase. We scouted the location, and we decided that we could punch a bunch of lights through, from X amount of yards away. And then we came back and the trees grew in heavier, so we couldn't punch enough light through. So we just turned off the shutter and it was fine. Like, no, it wasn't fine. You turn off the shutter, it looks like shit. I mean, you're just getting like these streaking ghost images of every light in the scene. Like all the headlights are just like streaking in front of my eyes, and I can't actually pay attention to anything that's happening on the screen. Aside from that, okay, yeah, I'm changing my answer. 90s Dante Spinotti, brilliant, one of the best cinematographers in the game. Nowadays, yeah, Tak Fujimoto is better, but yeah.
Well,
anyway.
he's also stopped shooting much after 2013, but
yeah.
Matt, does Tak Fujimoto prefer Fujifilm? I assume you know the answer to this.
To my understanding, he mostly shoots Kodak, but
how sad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Fujifilm doesn't even exist for motion picture photography anymore. So
no, yeah. But I mean, it did for much of his career.
Yeah. Again, to my knowledge, he shot Kodak for the most part, but
wow.
I'll say Dante Spinotti like definitely has like he's got LA Confidential. He's got like a few movies that are, very good looking. But yeah, it is weird how that some sort of laziness, like once they got digital, like they just didn't try as hard. And then the whole thing with the shutter, you can do the shutter thing. You can blur the image on a film camera and it's going to have the same effect, but nobody ever did it, for one thing, because it's complicated to do on the film camera versus the digital. And it's just like, how do you not, as a cinematographer, know that it changes the look of the scene? How do you accept that? And it's sort of passable, I think, in Collateral they did that a few times, but not nearly as badly, I guess, as some of the things that Matt is talking about.
Yeah.
In general, you're thinking about like, wow, I honestly, I'm not sure if I've seen Hannibal. I think I did. I'm pretty sure that was with Julianne Moore.
Hannibal is such an odd failure of a movie.
Yeah, Gary Oldman's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, also I think it was shot by John Matheson, who shot Gladiator, and
well, it's definitely a good looking movie.
Yeah, but
really, wasn't it like I thought Tak Fujimoto shot Gladiator? Am I like seeing the? It's funny.
No, Gladiator
Hannibal,
was shot.
Not Silence.
Huh?
Hannibal. Yeah, it looks like I'm looking at it right now. John Matheson, like Matt said, did Hannibal. Tak Fujimoto did Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, Gladiator! It's a Gladiator with the boxing movie.
Oh.
With James Marshall and Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
But Hannibal is they don't go back in time. It's forward in time, right?
Because it's free.
Yeah, so we've never actually have seen the story leading up to when he catches his Lecter.
Well,
that would be
they tried to kind of elaborate on it. I didn't actually watch this, but I had some friends tell me that the TV show they did starts before all the stuff in Red Dragon, and I guess it's like about Will Graham chasing multiple serial killers or something like that, and he eventually, probably in the first episode, I'm assuming, I don't know, but he goes to speak with Hannibal Lecter to get to help him with the what do they call it when they're chasing these people? The profile or something like that. The whatever. He helps him hunt down these people one after another, and I guess eventually they kind of, in the TV show, they kind of start leading it towards the events of Red Dragon. I didn't watch it. I heard it was pretty good, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, the people really liked it, and it's I might actually have to visit it just purely for that reason. I am curious about that, and it got people really liked it. Yeah, and and Lawrence Fishburne plays Jack Crawford.
Yeah, not a movie performance, but something worth comparing to, probably.
Yeah, no, and Mads Mikkelsen does Hannibal Lecter, is the guy from the
yeah, that was the reason
Danish
I decided
movies.
not to watch it, though, is because like I don't know, like you look at the scenes in this movie and a couple of the ones in Hannibal. Yeah, we know him as crazy because we've seen Silence of the Lambs and whatever. He gets all close to the glass and has that line about fava beans, whatever. But like, let's face it, Anthony Hopkins, he puts a tuxedo on, walks around. Yeah, he just looks like a kind of pretentious, rich, normal dude who might be a little demented maybe or whatever, but he looks pretty normal for the most part. What's his name? Mads Mikkelsen or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Mads.
Is that the guy, the actor's name you were just
Yeah,
talking
the
about?
Danish.
Yeah,
he's Danish.
love him. Incredible actor. So good in Rogue One. You take one look at him, even in the in the Hannibal show, the little clips I've seen and everything, he looks absolutely batshit crazy. Like if you were this great detective, you would just look at this guy and be like, nope, suspect.
I actually just rewatched Casino Royale last night, so yeah,
bleeding
I
blood out of his eyes.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
He's the perfect actor for that role.
Absolutely. Doctor Strange does some sort of crazy spell and his eyes like turn all black like a raccoon from like burning or something. Like, suspect. Suspect.
Right. I don't have it. I don't have evidence, but there is something fucked up about you, dude.